Less than 2 decades ago, Africa experienced a seismic shift, with fractures splitting open across various countries, even dividing a man's home in two. Since then, it's become evident that Africa is undergoing a continental rift, a process where a continent seems poised to split into multiple landmasses, ultimately giving rise to new continents, islands, and oceans, reshaping our world. But what's driving Africa's division, and what are the implications for Africans and the global community? Join us in the video as we explore how Africa is gradually splitting into 2 continents, a phenomenon many may not be aware of. In 2005, reports and images surfaced of a continental rift unfolding in East Africa. A continental rift is a term used to describe situations in which a continent appears to be fragmenting or separating into multiple parts, a natural process witnessed worldwide. In fact, every continent we know today emerged from tectonic plate movements and rifts. To grasp the ongoing developments in Africa, we must journey back hundreds of millions of years. In ancient times, Earth was a single solid landmass surrounded by a vast ocean known as Pangaea, encircled by Panthalassa, a single ocean. Over eons, the Earth's outer crust underwent heating, cooling, fracturing, and rearrangement, ultimately giving birth to the continents, islands, oceans, and seas we recognize today. The Earth's crust, or lithosphere, comprises around 15 to 20 tectonic plates in perpetual motion, either moving apart or converging. These plates form the significant landmasses that compose our continents and islands. Picture these plates as segments of a cracked shell resting on the searing sea of molten rock within the Earth's core. They're closely linked due to the extreme temperatures of the Earth's core driving their constant movement, either towards each other or away. Have you ever noticed how South America's eastern coast and Africa's western coast seem to fit together on a globe? It's not a coincidence, they were once part of the same landmass. The splitting of this colossal supercontinent into distinct continents and oceans was a result of this separation. According to NASA's Earth Observatory, the Somalian plate in the east is shifting eastward away from the larger and older part of the continent, known as Nubian Plate. The Somalian plate, sometimes called Somali plate, and Nubian plate, also known as the African plate, are also moving away from the Arabian plate in the north. These plates converge in Ethiopia's Afar region, forming a Y-shaped rift system, as described by the Geological Society of London. The East African rift, spanning about 2,175 miles from the Red Sea to Mozambique, holds the potential to split the world's second largest continent into 2 distinct landmasses. Geologists and scientists are captivated by this geological phenomenon, which would be of unparalleled magnitude since the separation of South America and Africa into distinct continents hundreds of millions of years ago. However, such an event, if it occurs, is estimated to take 5 to 10 million years to fully materialize. It's important to note that a complete separation of the Somalian plate from the Nubian plate is just one possible scenario. Another scenario involves a partial separation, with most of the Somalian plate breaking away. This would create a new body of water between the landmasses, encompassing countries such as Somalia, Eritrea, Djibouti, and parts of Ethiopia, Kenya, Tanzania, and Mozambique. This rift would bring significant economic benefits to landlocked countries like Ethiopia and Uganda, opening new trade and production opportunities. According to Ken McDonald, a marine geophysicist and professor emeritus, the Gulf of Aden and the Red Sea could eventually flood the Afar region and the East African Rift Valley, forming a new ocean and distinct small continent in East Africa. Presently, the rift is widening at a rate of about 1/4 of an inch per year, a slow process likened to toenail growth. The mechanisms behind rift formation remain a subject of debate among geologists. One prevailing model suggests that increased heat flow from deep within the Earth creates thermal bulges, leading to fractures in the outer brittle crust. Many attribute these bulges to mantle plumes beneath the continent, where superheated magma causes the crust to thin and fracture, often resulting in extensive volcanic activity. A prominent feature of the African rift is the Rift Valley, formed when 2 tectonic plates move apart. Rift valleys stand apart from river and glacial valleys as their formation is tied to tectonic plate movements rather than erosive processes. Many rift valleys are linked to triple junctions where 3 tectonic plates converge at approximately 120-degree angles. In such cases, 2 arms of the junction can give rise to entire oceans, with the third, called an Onologan, may become a rift valley. An example is the formation of the Atlantic Ocean, starting from a triple junction in the Gulf of Geneva, with the Olokogan becoming the Benue Trough in southern Nigeria. Rifts valleys also occur underwater, dividing vast mountain ranges as mid-ocean ridges. These ridges form when tectonic plates separate beneath the ocean. Magma from the mantle rises, solidifying as it meets the cold sea, creating new oceanic crust within the rift valley. For instance, the North American and Eurasian plates are gradually moving apart along the mid-Atlantic ridge, forming rift valleys up to 9 miles wide over millions of years. The East Pacific rise in the Pacific Ocean has created rift valleys as the Pacific plate diverges from other plates. A well-known rift valley akin to the East African Rift is the Great Rift Valley, stretching from the Middle East to Mozambique. It's known for geological activity including volcanoes, hot springs, geysers, and frequent earthquakes. The East African Rift branches into two main arms, the Western Rift and Gregory Rift. These valleys are dotted with volcanoes like Erta Ale in Ethiopia, Mount Kenya, Old Dinoya, Lengai in Tanzania, and Mount Nyiragongo in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The Western Rift is also known as the Albertine Rift, houses the East African Great Lakes and is a biodiversity hotspot with diverse landscapes. In contrast, the Gregory Rift stretches from the Red Sea to Mount Kilimanjaro. The Gregory Rift features the Afar Triple Junction where the Horn of Africa meets the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden. Here, the Arabian, Nubian, and Somali plates are gradually moving apart, with two arms expanding due to sea floor spreading. If these rifts continue, the Gregory Rift's depression could allow the Arabian Sea to flood it, transforming the Horn of Africa into a continental island like Madagascar or New Zealand. Within the East African Rift, the Western and Gregory branches, despite their common origins, exhibit distinct characteristics. The Gregory Rift is marked by heightened volcanic activity, while the Western Rift features deeper basins hosting large lakes and abundant sediment deposits. Lake Tanganyika, one of these lakes, ranks as the world's second deepest, and Lake Malawi showcases basalt eruptions and ongoing crevice formation. Geologists find the East African Rift system unique as it offers a rare unique opportunity to directly study land-based ocean basin formation, a phenomenon usually obscured by sediments or submerged rifts. It serves as an invaluable field laboratory for studying and actively developing rift system. Rift valleys often house lakes, forming of freshwater accumulates within these geological formations. For instance, over 1 billion years ago, the North American plate initiated a rift that eventually led to the formation of Lake Superior. Similarly, Lake Baikal, the world's deepest and oldest freshwater lake, developed within a rift over 25 million years, accumulating soft sediment layers on its 3-mile-deep rift valley floor. The Dead Sea, located in the Jordan Rift Valley, is another example of a rift lake, though it didn't really fully evolve into one, classified instead as a Dead Sea transform. The East African Rift boasts some of the world's most renowned rift lakes, spanning from Ethiopia to Malawi. These lakes include freshwater lakes like Lake Baikal and saltwater soda lakes resembling the Dead Sea. Lake Tanganyika stands out for its endemic Seychelles fish species. Meanwhile, Lake Natron in Tanzania is a shallow, red-hued alkaline soda lake. Lake Malawi, also known as Lake Nyasa, ranks as the world's third deepest freshwater lake, with a highly populated basin and rich fish diversity. As the East African Rift continues to shape Africa's division, it garners increasing attention from geologists, ecologists, and governments. Dubbed the cradle of humanity, this rift has become crucial for understanding human evolution, with numerous hominid fossil discoveries, including the famous Lucy in Ethiopia. Scientists are intrigued by how the rift's evolution may have influenced our species' development.